want to talk about School Spirit Season 3. Well, the first episode. So, it starts off the same night as the final of Season 2. But it's Maddie falling through a black void as she enters her body. Her other friends are looking for Simon, as Wally decides he is going to stay, which is good because we love him. Simon is taken out of Martin's room by Janet, but he accidentally cuts his hand, so he's not dead, right? Because no other ghost can get hurt. At least that's what I'm thinking. But Xavier tells Maddie he's seen her dad, and Maddie is feeling a lot, not just with the fact that her boyfriend that at one point she thought cheated, or he did cheat on her, that boyfriend she thought killed her, just, can see her dad, and, that's probably a lot. But also just the fact that she was a ghost for 2 weeks, and now she's back in her body after someone snatched it from her. So I think that is fair to feel a lot. Anyway, as Xavier's dad is taking Maddie and her mom home, he tells them that he doesn't understand what's going on, but he wants to because he saw the red light in the school, the one that consumed Simon, I'm guessing. Simon, I think, figures out that he's not dead, clearly, and he starts a fight with Wally, which is like, he just decided to stay in the school afterlife. Can you give him a break, man? I know, a lot's going on, but give him a break. Simon ends up talking to Rhonda, and they talk about the boundary, which is when a ghost tries to leave Split River High, they end up exactly where they died. But Simon is not dead, so does he have a boundary? He ends up running across the football field, and he does in fact have a boundary, which is the boiler room, which, ironic, but it's where they locked up Martin, which is interesting. So I haven't seen the final episode of season 2 since it aired, but I'm pretty sure it's not shown that Simon, or maybe it was that he saw or heard Martin binging or crying out like Maddie did with Janet. Anyway, so I think when Simon awakens from falling into the boiler room, it's with Wally, and he tells him that Maddie didn't mention it hurting so much when they fall back to where they died. And Wally was like, well, that's because it doesn't. And, just another clarification that Simon is, in fact, alive. They need to talk to Martin, but Janet says no because she has an idea and they don't need him. Janet thinks that the energy of them all being in their scars that night was big enough to let Simon cross over as a human, as an alive person. All decide to go into their scars that night, but decide to do it late enough so no one is around to cross over like Simon did. And then Maddie asks her mom if her dad died in the river or at the hospital, because, if he died in the hospital, then it would make sense that Xavier could see him, because that's how it is at the school, with her mom saying that it was the hospital he died in. I'm pretty sure it was shown last season, but the watch allows you to go into anyone's scar. Maddie ends up running out of the car and goes into the school. She looks for her friends, And for a second, I was confused because I thought she like couldn't see them anymore. But it was just because she wasn't anywhere where someone died. So when she did go to the theater, she was able to see them, which was really cute. She talks to Simon. He tells her they have a plan as her mom takes her back. Her mom questions her and is like, you're not going back to school because you're doing online school, which was something that Janet agreed to when she was body snatching her. Okay, and then Charlie is upset that Yuri saw his scar because it was very, personal. It was that all of his own bullies were himself. And Yuri was like, you got nothing to worry about, babe. I love you. And I was like, hell yeah, I love them. All the ghosties grab their keys just in case they get split up. But the plan did not work. So there's that. That sucks. But what's really important, okay, this is the most important part of the episode, is that Jennifer Tilly is here, okay? Like, honestly, should have ended there. Would have been enough of a cliffhanger for me. Anyways, her name is Dr. Hunter Price, and she plans on closing Split River High. Maddie is being made fun of, but her friends, or the girl her ex-boyfriend was cheating on her with, decides to stick up for her. She's trying to be... I don't really understand what's going on with Claire and Maddie. I think, Claire is really, apologetic about how she treated her, and also, for, taking her boyfriend. But, I don't know, I just feel like Maddie... I don't think Maddie's upset, but she just doesn't seem like besties. And Claire is, doing everything for her, which is interesting. Maddie receives a note that is a threat, Claire tells her. So, I guess Claire does have a purpose. She's a bully, or was a bully, that can help Maddie see through another bully's bullshit. But the bully is this girl named Livia. Maddie tells the principal, though, that she wants to spend her free hour in the green room because she wants to talk to Simon, and she ends up helping him by deciding that she's going to get his iPad out of his car to keep in contact with his family. Wally wants to see her, which, is fair. He stayed. But she's just overwhelmed, so she tells him to meet her at the football field, as Janet is thinking, and Simon meets up with her. I'm not quite sure where they are. They're in this weird little cement area, but Simon asks if she's okay, and she thinks going through her door would help him get back to the living world. She said she can't be the reason another person is trapped here. In the office, Xavier and Nicole, in my notes I have her as Batgirl, because, I couldn't really remember her name, and that is my fault. But they tell the office lady that they want to make a club. So she goes to get them the paper to sign up for it. And Xavier and Nicole snatched the envelope, which I think was Simon's suspension letter, because he was telling Maddie that he needs to make sure that doesn't get home, because it's good that he's not at school because the school thinks he's suspended, but if he's not home, then, you know, his parents are gonna be like, what the fuck? But honestly, I'm not really sure how the office lady did not see the envelope they took, because I don't know. I thought it was kind of like obvious. Like, he should have like moved it to the front of him as he started walking away, but that's just me. Maddie and Wally meet up at the football field. They miss each other, but they plan on helping Simon. Janet meets up with Martin so he could let her into her scar, which, you know, he does, and she ends up leaving to the afterlife, which is really sad. But what's even sadder is that Simon is still stuck, which, you know, great. When Xavier goes back to the hospital, he sees someone, which I already clocked was a ghost. But at home, Maddie is asked how school was. Her mom is just like really confused by her, which again is fair because she literally was not herself when she was home last season because she was Janet. Maddie apologizes for how hard everything must have been for her mom. And, you know, I thought it was a cute little conversation. But, you know, Maddie finds out her mom is drinking and taking pills again. Nicole and Claire are having a sleepover, and they find out that Maddie is going viral for laughing at herself on the bench in the football field. But, you know, that's when she was talking to Wally, but obviously to everyone else, it looks like she's just laughing to herself. Oh my god. And then we find out that Livia is Jennifer Tilly's daughter, which I should have seen coming, but, you know. Yuri goes out into the greenhouse, and he has Janet's note that she left for everyone, you know, saying goodbye, and hoped that they understood that she was doing this to see if it would help Simon. But she has something written on the back that says she promised she would teach him, and it turns red like the building did when they were all in their scars. But he doesn't go in. Xavier goes into the hospital room because he notices a light flickering, and then the ghost boy comes up. I'm gonna be real, like the way they framed it and like the way he said to him, it very much so came off like that boy was going to possess Xavier. So Simon goes to see Mr. Martin, and Mr. Martin was like, if you want to learn how to get out of here, then you need to let me out. And Simon's like, no, like, I know you're hiding more, like, what is happening here? And Martin is like, something is waiting for them, and they need to get out of there now. Simon asks what is waiting for them as it starts to snow. And then at home, Maddie hears something as her ceiling starts to leak. She gets up, and her carpet is like a puddle. It's really gross, but it's almost kind of like sticky. Her hand turns red as she turns the door handle, and suddenly is back in the boiler room. And that is the end of the episode.